Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for joining me. It's your old mate Beetle Dave. Um, this is part two of our recent finds from our trip to Liverpool. So, if you've seen part one, you'll know that the finds on there were from uh, Matthew Street Records. These are the other finds that we've got. So, I hope you're going to sit back, relax, and enjoy. These were all pretty cheap, to be honest. Around the £5 and £6 mark each, if that. So the first one that we'll look at is from the Beatles shop, which I've also done a video of. But I had to put some music on because there's some George Harrison Beatles music playing on it. So I hope you did enjoy that. So this first one is something I'd never had. I've nearly bought it a few times. There's always been something a bit strange about this album. It is Beatles related, this one. It's Season of Glass by Yoko Ono. And this was the album that Yoko did after John's murder, obviously, and is on Geffen. So it's GEF 99164. And this was £6. Haven't played it yet, to be honest. Goodbye Sadness, Mindweaver. I'll put that track list in there, and you can see it. So for £6, this is one of those albums where I've never really known if I want it or not, mainly because many years ago, and I don't know how true this is, that somebody said these glasses are John's blood-stained glasses from when he was shot. Now, I don't know how true that is. That is just something I can remember reading or hearing many, many years ago. And I always thought it was a little bit, but now it's, years and years and years later. So this is from 1981. Like I say, it's on Geffen. So you do get, this is the original inner sheet with the words to all the songs. Recorded, mixed and mastered at the Hit Factory, New York. So side one is Goodbye Sadness. Then you've got Mind Weavers. Even When You're Far Away. Nobody Sees Me Like You Do. Dogtown. Silver Horse. Side two is I Don't Know Why. No, No, No. Toy Boat. And that's it. Like I said, I've never actually heard any of the songs off this album, I don't think. I'm going to listen to this with an open mind when I do play it. Also, Mother of the Universe as well is on here. I don't think John is actually on any of the tracks on this, is it? I know that sounds daft because he died by the time it came out. But I didn't know if they'd used any backing tracks that he was on or anything like that. And although this is supposed to be on Geffen, this is actually on the Warner Brothers label as well. Well, that just say Geffen Records there. It's got the big Warner Brothers label there. So I don't think this is a UK or a American album or pressing. Oh, it's produced by Yoko Ono and Phil Spector. Never knew that. That's side one. That's side two. So that surprised me straight away that she's working with Phil Spector. I think over time, I think a lot of people have actually had to sort of like think differently about Yoko Ono, especially since John's died. I think she's got a lot more respect and things like that now than what she did have when John was still alive, if that makes sense. Where maybe she should have had that respect, all the time. So for £6, I didn't think that was that bad. Put that there. Now these next 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, are all from Dig Vinyl. Dig Vinyl. So on Bold Street in Liverpool, I think. Every time we go to Liverpool, we always end up in there. And usually I spend quite a lot of money, but now they've changed it slightly. And yes, you can still get your mega rarities and things like that, but they've now got like bargain section where it's £6 each or 2 for £5. So those 4 records cost me £20. And the first one was this, the early years of the Beatles featuring Tony Sheridan. Yes, I have got a couple of copies of this, but I thought for £6 it's worth getting it again, because when I was looking at this, it looks like it's virtually in mint condition. The record I'm on about. So it isn't a anti-lined anti-static sleeve. So it says 1962 on this, but I think these were actually recorded in 1961, weren't they? Very, very early 62. So it's basically the Beatles as a backing band for Tony Sheridan, and it's on contour. Again, I haven't had time to clean or play this yet, but I did check this with one of the other ones I've got, and one of the other ones I've got, all this copyright information around the record there is in red. Although the label's blue like this, it's in red. Now, I do seem to remember that. Does that mean that that's an export copy, or is this the export copy if it's in blue? I can't remember, to be honest. Do you need this in your record collection if you're a Beatles fan? If you want to know what the Beatles sounded like before they became really, really famous, then yeah. I say that the backing band of Tony Sheridan. Ain't She Sweet is the Beatles, and it's got a vocal by John Lennon. Cry for a Shadow is just an instrumental. It was actually written by George Harrison and John Lennon. But then My Bonnie, although the Beatles are backing Tony Sheridan, their backing vocals come across really, really loud, and they might well have been singing it themselves, to be honest. So that is the track listing. So I'll leave it there if you want to freeze and zoom in. But for £6, I didn't think that was bad. Yeah, it even says on there £6 or two for tenner. So I thought for £6 that's worth a punt. And like I say, this album does actually look mint. Well, not plain mint, but it looks mint. Then I've got this one, and I can hear you all saying, "Nah, why have you got another copy of this, Dave? You've got about 15 copies of this." Well, I haven't got that many. It might be 5 or 6. And I did put this back. I did actually put this back, but then I realised that this is the one that's got, I can show you, the Adam and the Ants catalogue in it. Now these, they're not impossible to get, but they are quite rare. And there's certain people on internet selling sites that will sell you these on their own, and you will paying £20 or £30 for these. So that was the idea of getting this, because I do know a couple of mine have got it and a couple of them haven't. And again, when I looked at it, it didn't look in that bad a condition. And I've played this one as well, and it plays absolutely fantastic. When did we come back? We came back Thursday, didn't we? Was it Thursday? And I was bopping around to this while I was doing another video that should be the video before this one, if I've done the scheduling right, but like that. Yeah. Probably the most famous Adam and the Ants album, or the most popular Adam and the Ants album, into this one. So again, for £6, well, basically it's cost me a £5, for saying that's in it. I didn't think that was too bad, and I've just noticed why this is £6, because it's just starting to go there, right on the edge, look. Which, to be fair, once I've put it in a sleeve, you won't be able to tell. Classic Adam and the Ants album, punk stroke new wave album. This is a must have if you live in the UK, I think, and even if you live in America. Just give me 1 second, folks. Then I got this one. This is Dog of Two Heads by the band Status Quo. Now, I don't know what this was originally priced at because they've stuck a sticker over a sticker. And this is on Pi. Now, Status Quo were really, really popular in the 70s and even in the 80s. But now it seems to be the thing, everybody slags them off, or 3 chord wonders and stuff like that. When you actually take the time to listen to some of the songs and how they progressed throughout the years, yeah, towards the end of the career, I don't think they really bothered what they were doing, but I think they did try and make each album as different as they could at the time. I mean, they had number ones and all sorts, you know. This has got quite a bit of a textured sleeve as well, so I think it probably is an original. And again, it's one that I didn't have in my collection. So you got what, how many songs got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 songs on there, and the only one I've ever actually heard of is Railroad. I'll leave the track list in there. And there was a thing just before, what's his name, Rick died. The 4 original members of Status Quo got together and they like rehearsed a few songs, and that is, I'm sure that's the song they play at the end. I don't even know if you can still get it on YouTube. You used to be able to get it on YouTube. That so this is a gatefold sleeve. My sister used to be mad on Status Quo, and I think she went to go and see him a few times. Now this is not an original because I've just said it's on Pi. It's a later copy, and it's on PRT, which stood for Precision Records and Tapes, which was a new name for Pi, which is a bit stupid, really, isn't it? But a lot of the Kinks LPs were reissued on this label as well from the 1960s. And to be fair, that's in quite nice condition. So for £5, it's worth a punt, isn't it? Yes, you know, there's some of these big bands from the days gone by where everybody used to rave about how good they are, and then it just seems that as time goes by, it's the fashion to slag them off. I've always liked Status Quo, to be honest. I think there was quite an entertaining band in their own right. And then the last one that I got, again, this was one that was £6 or 2 for £10, and I couldn't believe I got this. I've seen this many, 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 many times on other vinyl community channels, other YouTube channels. And again, it's an album I've never had. It's Do It Yourself by Enjoying the Blockheads. Now, I presume this is the most common copy of it that you can get, because I think, if I remember rightly, I think it was either Gav Axman Spins or Nick's Vinyl Butty said there's about 12 different versions of the sleeve with all different, because that's supposed to be wallpaper, isn't it? With different coloured wallpaper. So for £6, or in my case £5, I thought it wasn't too bad. In between is Quiet, Don't Ask Me, Skin My Bones, Waiting for Your Taxi. Side 2 is This Is What We Find, Uneasy Sunny Day, Hotsy Totsy, Mischief, Dance of the Screamers, Lullaby for Francis. Alright, I'll be honest, I've never ever heard any of these songs. Well, I say that, I don't think I've ever heard any of these songs. Because the thing is, I might know them, but not by the name, if that makes sense. So you get the original in a sleeve. This is on stiff, isn't it? Is it on stiff? I think it is. So this is side 1. And then that is side 2. Again, that doesn't look in that bad a condition. I'm sure this is on stiff. But it's got a stiff number because it's SEEZ14. It doesn't actually mention stiff anywhere on the label, from what I can see. There is something on there which I can't actually see on the back there. I don't know. Any information on this LP? I know I'm going to enjoy it when I listen to it. Because it was only quite recently that I got Ian Joy's new boots and panties, or whatever it's called. And again, at first I thought I'd never heard any of the songs on it. It turns out I knew virtually every song on that. So for £5, you can't go too bad, can you? And no, I'm not going to go out and try and find every other alternative copy of this. Although somebody might think, well, you might not, Dave. Yeah, so that's it. So that is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is the 5 remaining albums now. So there's nothing else I bought from Liverpool. I tried to be good. I tried not to spend too much money. And to be fair, I didn't. But I'd also ordered a few things that have come while we was away. So there's going to be a video on them. And then yesterday, because you're probably going to see this on the Sunday. So yesterday, I went into Derby and went into my local record shop, BPM, and bought quite a few things from there that are going to be featured in another video as well. So please stay tuned. If you've liked this video, just give me a thumbs up. If you've got any comments, by the way, on any of those records, please leave them down below. I do try and answer as many comments as I can. If you're watching on one of these things, no, not a cassette, on a mobile phone, you can press a thing called a hype button. Now, I'm not quite sure what this hype button does, but from what I can work out, it helps YouTube promote the contents of this channel or any other channel that you do it to a wider audience. So if you've liked the video, if you can do that as well, please, that'd help me out, and it'll be very much appreciated. Thank you to everybody that's supporting the channel, leaving comments and leaving likes and all that lot. Oh, excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. Right, so that is going to be it. I thought somebody was living then. Yeah, so whatever you're doing, please stay safe. There's plenty more videos to come on this channel, so I'll try and do something for everybody. Whatever you're doing, like I say, just stay safe. And as my old mate, Beetle Bad'd say, I'm out of here. Cheers, everybody. Thank you very much for watching. See you on the next one, hopefully.